Hey everyone, Mr. Knull, the guy who was behind my most successful video ever, a Knull versus Alliance Coliseum arcade video. That got over 20k views because that was a pretty difficult boss by Alliance Coliseum standards. But now he's at rank 5 Ascension 2. He is the bulkiest boy he could possibly be at the moment, and this champ is stupid in everything. Long form, short form content. If you need sustainability and healing, he's good without recoils, he's good with recoils, he's good on defense. This champ is dumb, and in my opinion, and in most people's opinion, the best champ in the Metamorphosis event. Now you're probably wondering, hang on though, this showcase is shorter than the Dust one. Doesn't that mean, like, Dust takes more? Two things. One, in the Dust video, I was having to take 2 fights to get reasonable outcomes. And 2, Knull is just killing everything quicker, which is the main thing here. You're about to see some ludicrously fast fights, and Knull take on champions from every single class. And I'm not joking, every single class. So anyway, let's start off and let's talk about Knull in short form content. So Knull in short form content is incredibly simple. You want to build up your Living Abyss using heavies, medium attacks, and then throw an SB1. When you're going to trigger your Corruption, when this triggers, all of your Living Abyss will be converted to armor breaks. And then essentially you're just going to go nuts and just wail into the opponent. You get extra bleeds on the light attacks with the Corruption up. So yeah, this Penny Parker's already dead because the damage is just so obscene. That's a rank 5 Penny Parker. And yeah, they got absolutely wrecked. The amount of Living Abyss you start the fight with is dependent on your Sig. Knull is a champ that likes Sig 200 because he will start with 15 of his Living Abyss things. Good on attack, because you start partially ramped up. Good on defense, because you start with max and equity on the opponent. So yeah, try and get your Knull sigged up as much as possible. But yeah, the start of these fights are so simple. I'm not really going to be commenting on rotation much during most of these fights. It's literally just drop some heavies, drop an SB1, wait for Corruption, go absolutely nuts. So, Knull has a lot of other things going for him. We will see a bit later when I put recoils on for a very long fight, to say the least. He has reduced bleed and poison potency on himself, so you are constantly healing with willpower on, which is pretty nuts. I actually play the second Penny Parker quite bad, by the way, because I let the Corruption expire. The Corruption is paused whenever you do a light attack, but you can see, even without the Corruption for the extra bleed damage, yeah, Penny still got slaughtered there. And that's a rank 5 ascended to Penny, essentially, so, yeah, kind of dumb. Next up, we're going to fight Red Skull. Another thing about these Living Abyss charges is whenever you apply one to the opponent, it will strip away an armor up. So here, Red Skull starts with 5 armors. He's already at 2 because I put 3 Living Abyss on him. So if there's ever champs with lots of armor up buffs, to clarify, only buffs, then Knull is just going to wipe them out very quickly. And this is literally a 30-second fight against this Red Skull, because he just gets absolutely wiped out. His Unstoppable has reduced duration, because his Unstoppable scales with how many armors he has. So yeah, this fight is just completely over. We go into our mode. We also get an Unblockable and Unstoppable as we go into the mode, which is cool. And, yeah, Red Skull down. Simple as that. So, what else is there going on? So, Knull's medium attacks and heavy attacks have essentially True Strike. They are anti-auto block and anti-evade. Now, against someone like Ruby Thursday, where her abilities are a bit more complicated, I prefer to just go with the heavy. But hey, if there's, like, I don't know, a Spider-Verse champion, you can just use double mediums and not care about their abilities. Now, this Ruby Thursday, I don't play the best in the world. I do get caught at one point by, yeah, I get caught with the organic circuitry, stopping one of my parry stuns. So that's fine. It's a thing that happens. Just be aware of that. Don't be as dumb as me. But anyway, now we're going to get our heavy off, and we are into our mode now, and it's time to just go nuts. Obviously, there is that auto block, so I am going to wait that out slightly. But then we're going to go straight back in. Here, we're going to drop a heavy attack because it puts a load of degens on the opponent. And that is Ruby Thursday down. We healed up a tiny bit. I'll explain where that healing comes from in a minute. And yeah, that was Ruby down, a rank 5 Ruby down in a very respectable time. Next up, we've got Solvark. Now, Solvark is obviously bleed immune. This would seem quite bad, because we don't get our extra damage in our corruption phase, but, I don't care. Like, we don't care. Like, his damage is already so obscene, we don't care about this extra damage source. This Solvark is still going to get wrecked. He's also going to remove his own armors, like I said. The Living Abyss only strips armor up buffs. These passives are sadly not affected, but hey, can't have it all. He throws another SB1, I don't care. I'm just going to stack up a couple more Living Abyss, and then we are going to start off in our mode with 37 armor breaks, and here we go. Just, this damage is just stupid. To say that to say we're missing a portion of our damage here as well, because obviously I don't have the bleed, is pretty nuts. In terms of Relic for Knull, you can kind of put on whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, Solvark just got annihilated. So, now we're going to start moving around the classes, and I'm going to talk about what abilities his specials have during his corruption phase, because they all have unique abilities. First of all, if you trigger the SB3, you get a massively long-lasting corruption. It lasts so much longer, and we will be utilizing that in very long-form content very soon. So, spam the SB3 if you need a long-lasting corruption. The SB2 will apply 10 armor breaks during the corruption phase, which is really nice for going over the stack limit of 99 armor breaks. Because it counts as different source, it actually goes past the stack limit, and you will see in a fight later on, we end up with about 150 armor breaks on the opponent. It's kind of silly. And the SB1 and Heavy, these two both have the same ability during the corruption phase. Whenever you trigger them, you will transfer some of your armor breaks into degens and then back into Living Abyss. So these degens do a lot of damage, and obviously there's basically no one immune to degen in the game. A couple of resistant champs, but yeah. So it's really nice that they transfer into degens and then into Living Abyss, because it means that you don't lose your ramp. And you can use SB1s, which also activating the SB1 starts the corruption timer. So you can use your SB1, get a load of degen damage, and then pop right back into corruption and put them all back to armor breaks. So it's really, really OP, to be honest. Next up onto Jean Grey, we've obviously got Max Inequity working against us for all of this fight, but we don't care. I also eat an SB1 because I'm heavy, sorry, because I'm bad. But yeah, now we're in the mode, and we are just going to start slamming hits in. Obviously, landing light intercepts is a big part of being efficient with Knull. It just gets so much extra damage on the opponent, it's obscene. And you will notice we are able to go absolutely nuts in the corruption modes, because the opponent's combat power rate is massively reduced during corruption. You'll see this Jean Grey, we've just landed multiple combos and she wasn't able to get to an SB1. So you can be mega aggressive during your corruption phase and just not care about what the opponent's doing. Next, top tier defender we're facing, Yelena. So, Yelena's damage mitigation, the Knull just says no. Because his damage is a combination of the armor breaks and the extra bleed, he just doesn't care about Yelena's damage mitigation stuff. So, we're just going to play this fight completely normally. Drop an SB1, wait for the corruption to come round, and yeah, just completely cook, basically. So, into our SB1 here, we're up to 28 Living Abyss charges. Trying to get it as high as possible before the corruption comes round. I could technically throw another SB1 here, but I am gonna, in this matchup, throw an SB2 off. So here, just watch. Like, the damage is slightly reduced, but it is still an obscene amount of damage we are doing to Yelena. And the main thing that is getting its damage reduced is our crits. You can see that our crits are not doing as much as in other matchups, but that Yelena is dead in a very fast time. Just works the same as any other Knull match. Plus, because you have the bleed resistance, you're not taking as much damage as she crits through your block. Next up, High Evolutionary. Now, Knull having lots of hits on his specials is really good here. because obviously it allows me to just not really care about the combo detonation. Because usually that's one of the main issues with this champion. You get the combo detonation on you, and you are really struggling to get it off you. But here, the heavy has 3 hits. We can do our medium like mediums. The SB1 has 5 hits. So here, like, we're at half the timer still, and we've only got to land 3 more hits. 1 more heavy, bye-bye timer. So yeah, you don't really have to care about that against High Evolutionary. He just gets wrecked, pretty much. Here, I'm going to get into my mode, and I use the auto-block, the unblockable to get past his auto-block. And here, I'm just going to send it, and we do land a lucky stand-up. Nice. If you was really worried about maintaining your health, you would just let him throw an SB2 and finish him off after that. But hey, some of these matchups are meant to be pretty nukey and pretty fun. Next up, we have got Photon, and this is one of the more challenging ones. But because you are only dropping double mediums with Knull most of the time, you know, the optimal rotation being double mediums and heavies, you're not getting any of the energy vulnerabilities on you that Photon gives. This is good for 2 reasons. One, you're just not taking much damage, though we took 600 damage through the block, with Inequity helping us as well. And the second reason is just because it means that she gains way less charges. See, she's only just got into Pure Light, which usually, like, most Photons would be in Pure Light miles before this. I should have used the Unblockable there to get the opening, the Unstoppable there to get the opening when she hit my block. I'm not sure why I didn't. I must have just not realised it was there. And now we are just going to keep dropping combos into our SB2. Big armor breaks going up. Decent amount of damage. Obviously, we're suffering from max inequity as well, so this fight is a little bit slower, but we are able to finish it off in 1 corruption cycle. Rank 5 Photon in the bin. A little bit more health than I would have liked, but hey. Now, on to a couple of Mystics, and yep, he takes Mystics too. Knull is a Cosmic Champ with not many buffs, which is very beneficial to him against these Mystics, because, well, his only real buffs are when he activates Corruption, and he gets an Unblockable and an Unstoppable. So 2 buffs is very reasonable. We can deal with that and work around it, even with champs that have max MD like these do. Kindred, we are just going to play completely normally. All of his hits do count as contact, which is a thing I found funny about Knull. I don't know the exact lore reasons behind it. I know he's something to do with, like, King of the Symbiotes and stuff, but yeah. But anyway, we're gonna go into our mode now, and yeah, this Kindred is fucking dead, like, unbelievably dead. I eat an SB1 there because I'm ass. But now I'm going to get him to 5% and instantly run in with the SB2. The extra burst at the end of it kills. Should have finished 100% health. Not sure why I ran into that SB1. Probably just slow reaction times because I'm ass. But anyway, on to Nico Minoru, and this fight is the same as pretty much anyone against Nico. We're going to wait out that first buff immunity and then just go nuts. You do obviously have poison resistance if she does manage to get the poisons on you, but you would prefer to not have them on you. You can, I guess, also block SB2s if you really need to, but I prefer not to. What I prefer to do in this matchup is drop off my SB1, and while this SB1 is, like, letting the corruption timer start, now I bait out her SB1. Because of the invisible after, this is a load of dead time where I can't do damage anyway, so I may as well let the corruption charge up. Now it is ready, and it's time to go nuts. Oh wait, she threw an SB1. You're funny. This doesn't matter though, it just delays us a little bit, but now she's at basically no power. She's got her combat power rate reduced massively, and just look at these combos. Like, we're just doing light attacks like crazy. Into the SB2 we go, and that is it for Nico Minoru. Even with an SB1 thrown in the middle of the corruption phase, she just goes down very easily for Knull. And now the last normal size fight I'm going to show, Serpent. Yeah, rank 5 Serpent. Knull can take Serpent, because he's fucking hilarious. Now, there's 2 ways you can kind of play this one. It's kind of dependent on what you think will work best. So, you can either do what I'm going to do and activate the Corruption, do as much damage as I can, and then activate a second Corruption closer to the end of the fight. Because one of the things you do not want to be caught with at the end of this fight is Serpent trying to heal up. Yes, your Living Abyss will reduce it a lot, but you do also want to have good damage going in throughout his final phase. So here I activate the first corruption early, and the damage is decent. Obviously, Serpent is a very tanky boy, so we're not critting much or anything. But hey, the damage is good. He now has his resist up, which is usually just a death sentence, but we don't care. We're still doing good damage. Activate an SB1, trigger some degens, and get the corruption timer started again. And now, yeah, we're just waiting for our second corruption to come round and use that to finish the fight. I drop another SB1 for some extra Living Abyss charges. They go into armors. And you can see we've basically lost no health, because a thing that I haven't been talking about that has been happening essentially behind the scenes in this whole fight, whenever Knull drops... Oh, that was dumb. I don't know how that happened. I think my controls just bugged out there, but we still managed to finish the fight completely fine at 98% health versus a rank 5 Serpent. Kinda nuts. But one of the things that is happening under the hood that we will now see a lot more in this fight against Star-Lord, this Star-Lord has 77 million health. I have max boosted my Knull and put on recoil masteries. I'm also putting this in 2x speed because, obviously for the first like 2 minutes, we are just ramping up to 99 Living Abyss to throw an SB3. But, whenever you are in corruption mode with Knull, and you drop a heavy, a medium ender, or an SB1, you are going to gain healing from the opponent. So basically, in a fight like this with Knull with recoils on, obviously we are infinitely healing from willpower because we're only taking 200 damage and healing 400 because of the poison resistance. But a second thing that is happening in this fight is whenever we throw specials or whenever we take a load of damage, we are just going to heal it up, either from heavy attacks, medium attacks, or just the willpower healing itself, which makes Knull incredibly sustainable for long-form content. What is the rotation for long-form content? It's kind of up to you. The rotation, if the fight is like very easy, like this Star-Lord, he doesn't have many abilities going on, he's just a big Star-Lord. The rotation I'm going with is, you get your big SB3 at 99 Living Abyss, eat a combo because bad, but then you want to be throwing SB2s and just spamming light attacks. So here we throw out SB2, it puts us up to 109 armor breaks, you know, like I said, gives us that extra armor break. And you can see these numbers coming out of Knull are wild. 250k light attacks, just ridiculous numbers. The SB2 does some obscene damage. 200k non-crit on the final hit is wild. And yeah, we're just going to keep stacking those armor breaks up. When the corruption timer gets below a quarter of its duration, I start going towards an SB3, because this will just add another corruption on, and you just keep going, just the same as before. So yeah, we're now in ISO burst, so we are getting some bit of a bigger damage, 283k medium there. And yeah, the rotation is very easy in this long form content. You just want to absolutely lay into the opponent with light attacks and alternate SB3s and SB2s, basically. I don't really like doing the SB1 because the SB1 has a weird interaction. The SB1 triggers a corruption timer, and then after 10 seconds or whatever it is, the corruption comes. The corruption from that SB1 resets your stack limit to 99, whereas the corruption from the SB3, because it doesn't need a time to activate, it keeps the stack limit at whatever it is. So here I'm at 149. If I was to throw an SB1 here, and the corruption come from the SB1, I would go back to 99 armor breaks, which is a bit weird. But yeah, that's something that happens. I should also note in this fight, it might be a bit difficult to gauge because of the 2x speed, but the ramp up in this fight took us about 2 minutes. So I'll spoil it now. This fight takes about 6.5 minutes for 77 million health. We deal nearly 20 million health a minute after being ramped up. And here I just slow it down to normal speed for the final little combo, just to see the timer of, 6.5 minutes. Yeah, we deal not far off 20 million health a minute after our ramp up. That is ridiculous. That is obscene damage. Yes, he's max boosted, but if it's long form content, you're probably chucking some boosts on. Knull is the best Metamorphosis champ. I'm saying that now. I don't want to hear any, counter arguments or anything. That's not me saying the other champs are bad. That is just me saying that this champ is obscene. And he will likely be one of the staples of my accounts for, like, at least until Banquet. You know, like, this champ is ridiculous. But yeah, whatever you need in the game, Knull can probably do it for you. Whatever class you need, Knull can do it for you. Thanks for watching. See you all next time.